Manila Press presents Late Light, written and read by Michael Malay. Life is roomy yet, and the odds unbounded. Thomas Hardy. It gets late early out there. Yogi Berra. Chapter 1. Late Light. A narrow lane in southern England, on one of the longest days of the year. We have been walking for hours, following the path into the valleys and then up onto the hills, into wind and light. Behind us, miles of B-roads and cycle paths, bridleways and trackways, and before us, a steep descent into a valley. For now, though, we are standing deep in the lane, deep in cover, beneath trees that lean and fold into the air. The path curves ahead, the banks lined with flowers. We share a packet of oatcakes while looking over a map. Then we climb up the sides of the path and peer over the hedge. Acres of farmland slope away from us, glowing prisms of barley, bright slopes of grass, and intersecting these grids, and surrounding them, we can see a larger patchwork of green fields. Further off, the fields darken into woods, and beyond the woods are the hills of a distant range. "Chaffinch," my friend says, suddenly turning towards a tree. Then, tilting his head in another direction, then another, he names the birds around us. Great tit, blackcap, greenfinch, wren. We listen in the stillness of the noonday heat, and at one point we hear 8 songs around us, 8 distinctive calls. Bullfinch, I ask, when a new bird starts up. Greenfinch, he says, listen to the wheeze in the middle of the call. Sounds like a whiskey-drinking jazz singer. Bullfinch is a rusty gate. Okay, got it. Greenfinch, jazz, bullfinch, gate. Exactly. We come to the end of the lane and step into a narrow field. Yellowhammers scatter before us, emerging from the hedge in volleys of light, and as we follow them into another field, overgrown with weeds and flowers, it seems as though we are walking deeper into the summer, on a day when time seems new again. More yellowhammer blur, then a skylark striking up in the next field, dropping bright pebbles of sound, and everywhere before us the lit fuse of summer. Clusters of herb robert and red campion, undergroves of knapweed and vetch, deep rows of hogweed and teasel. We cross the field, step down into another lane, and then pause to study the way. A path flanked by steep banks, the track shadowed by holly and ash. Later that evening, after a full day of walking, and after we return to Bristol, I stop before entering my house. Across the road, 3 birds are singing deep in greenery, in late summer light. A gust of wind shakes the trees, swirling the branches like oversized pom-poms, and for a moment the songs are lost. But when the wind dies, the notes become present again, and the songs unreel themselves into the listening air. Yes, there they are. Blackbird, chaffinch, wren. The lanes and the trackways, the narrow paths gleaming after rain, and the wide roads baking under summer heat. And other paths, quieter ones, that seemed like portals into other realms, valleys, orchards, combes. For a long time, these paths and roads were new to me. Also the birds that sang in the hedges and the flowers that grew by the lanes. At first, being a stranger here, I did not know the names for things, and so could not place myself in the landscape. I saw the valleys and the ancient walls and the strange trees in the woods, trees with many-fingered branches growing out of stumps, a quiver of arrows. But it was months before I understood that these were coppiced trees, coppiced hazel to be precise, and longer still before I learned terms such as coombe or dry stone wall. I saw other things, equally strange. Medieval streets of extraordinary crookedness, laid with stones called cobbles. The barrel-shaped roof of Bristol's central train station, larger than any roof I had seen. And the ruins of a church in the city centre, parts of which remained after having been bombed during...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?